Is God the God of all or the God of some? If one glances over the major religions of the world and their holy scriptures, it seems as if a single unified point comes to the surface. God's message is exclusive to some people. In Christianity, Jesus says in Matthew, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Same goes for Judaism. Moses starts his commandments with, "Hear, O Israel," meaning descendants of Prophet Jacob. Considered the oldest faith in the world, in Hinduism, the rishis and avatars are only ever said to have descended in the Indian subcontinent. In present-day Buddhism, there isn't even a concept of God, but even here, the Buddhas or enlightened ones belong to East Asia alone. Seeing this, any seeker of truth would come to the unfortunate conclusion that God has selected particular nations to bestow his blessings upon. Can this really be true? In 1908, this same question troubled the mind of Professor Clement Lindley Wragge when he met Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, peace be upon him, the promised Messiah and the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. The promised Messiah swiftly negated this thought of exclusivity by stating, "This is not correct, nor is it my belief that Allah manifests his being through one specific group or nation. Allah has no kinship or endearment with any specific nation or group. On the contrary, the truth is that God is the God of the entire world. He has created materials and provisions for the physical needs and for nurturing every type of creation without discrimination and in common. Our principle is that He is Rabbul Alameen, the sustainer of all the worlds." He stated that just as God has provisioned all necessary physical things, He has also provided for man's spiritual nourishment by sending reformers from time to time to all people. As the Holy Quran states in chapter 35, verse 25, "And there is no people to whom a warner has not been sent." He then stated the philosophy of reformers at different times. Just as the actual grain that grew in the time of Adam or previous prophets cannot be a life-giving source for us, and just as the water of their times cannot quench our thirst, so in that same way, from the spiritual point of view, we also need ever fresh spiritual food and water. It is the tradition of Allah that just as He nourishes and nurtures the physical system, where previous nourishment does not suffice, so is the case with the spiritual system. And the spiritual and physical systems both run side by side. A person who believes in the existence of God should place both the systems side by side and view them with the same mindset and draw benefit from their comparison. Just as the physical body dies without nourishment, so in the same way does the soul also die without nourishment. If only the past and previous references are cited in regard to spiritual matters, then apart from the spiritual condition becoming that of death, what else could possibly happen? The promised Messiah punctuated this thought with these powerful words. God, as is His nature, always desires that He be recognized. He manifests verities, insights, and ever-fresh signs as proofs for His existence and identification. This very system has always been functioning. Thousands, indeed hundreds of thousands of prophets came and provided practical proofs through their own actions, and thus established the argument in the world in favor of the existence of God. Now, how can a person refute such continuous, uninterrupted, established testimony by simply stating that he is a scientist or a philosopher? But yes, such people would be justified in saying why they are being presented old stories and fables, that some living proof or example should be shown. So, for this, I am ready. Such clear philosophical insight delivered in such a captivating style can only emanate from a true man of God, thus establishing in himself the very proof of the existence of the Creator. To learn more, visit our websites posted in the description. Like, share, and subscribe to join us on the next episode in this series of Professor Wragge and the Promised Messiah.